All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for October 31st, 2022. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. If you haven't been near your phone or are late to the party, the Detroit Lions have fired defensive back coach Aubrey Pleasant. Aubrey Pleasant has been fired about an hour ago. Now, I made a video about this on my other channel, and we're going to get right into it. All right, now, coming out of Detroit Lion Twitter land about an hour ago, Aubrey Pleasant, defensive back coach for the Detroit Lions, has been fired. They fired him. They fired him about an hour and a half ago. It first came out through Dave Request. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Poole, man. He makes sure I am always up to date on everything. As soon as he hears it, he sends it to me in Twitter DMs, and I appreciate that. He told me I'm getting up to check to make sure it's legit, because before I put it out there, I got to make sure it's good. And while I'm doing that, I get the push notification from Bleacher Report saying that the Lions have fired. Because when Mr. Poole sent it to me, it said Lions expected to fire. So I said, okay, well, I might need to wait until this becomes official. It became official. Detroit Lions have fired defensive back coach Aubrey Pleasant. I think that this is 100% scapegoat. Aubrey Pleasant, you might disagree, but I think he was one of the bright spots when it came to coaching for our team. Him, Kelvin Shepherd. Okay? Now, we know that personnel-wise, our linebackers are not the best. We know that our defensive backs are not the best. We drafted, don't forget that Brad Holmes drafted Ife Melifonwu. He's the one that came as part of the Matthew Stafford trade. He was the third-round pick we picked with that third-round pick from the LA Rams. And he has done little to nothing in his 2 years out here, right? So if we look at our personnel, we're bad. We're bad all around. Malcolm Rodriguez is a stud. He's a gem, but he's also outplaying lesser players than him. And Aubrey Pleasant got fired. Now, in my opinion, this is a scapegoat move. Lions Mania says, hello, everyone. What's up, y'all? He says, bad mistake. He's going to get scooped up somewhere. He's a good coach, secondary coach. That's facts. Dave says, that's just because Dan Campbell trying to save his buddy AG. That's the exact thing that I said. A couple of weeks ago, when we start really talking about Aaron Glenn's job, what was the one thing that kept coming up? We love AG. I love AG. I love AG. We saw AG on Hard Knocks. You know who didn't get a lot of screen time? Aubrey Pleasant. I'm sorry. I want to call this dude Audrey. I think my aunt's name is Audrey. This was a scapegoat move by the Detroit Lions. Now, you know what I think the camel that broke the straw's back? The straw that broke the camel's back, I'm all out of it. Not only did Tyreek Hill put up a $188 on us, Jalen Waddle, 106. Jalen Waddle had 2 touchdowns. Tyreek had none. But he almost had 2 entire football fields worth of receiving yards. If you look, shout out to my guy to Dern, man. I didn't get a chance to bring this picture in. This picture is ridiculous. Amani Oruwariye is standing up on the Miami side of the field, looking directly at the ball, and the dude has to be half a yard behind the ball, meaning not on the Lion side of the field, on the Dolphin side of the field. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. He got called offsides twice. And as a cornerback, I don't understand how you can get called offsides. I don't. All you got to do, if you're on the left side, you look right. If you're on the right side, you look left. And you see, if you're behind the ball, you ever seen the receiver step up to the line, they point to somebody else so they can get off the line? But no, not Amani Oruwariye, the 5th-round pick who looked like he was a bust or whack. Then he came alive, and then he went the other way. Now he's regressing. And that is what I believe got this man fired. Zay says, Lions Mania says, They are panicking because the fans are creating pressure that they can't handle. I think they're sending them slow self-destroying themselves. I think they're seeing them slowly self-destroying themselves. Zay says, I had a feeling someone was going to get fired. Dan said we didn't implement the game plan and jam them at the line. That was yesterday. Yeah, I heard him. I don't think it's just scapegoat. You don't do your job, you're going as a coach. Okay. Well, that's true, Zay. We don't know what happens behind the scenes. I thought maybe they got into a little argument and he had to fire him. Maybe some disrespect. But at the same time, you have to see what this looks like. This looks like a scapegoat move. No one, and I mean no one, was talking about firing linebacker coach, firing secondary coach, defensive line coach. You didn't hear offensive line coach. No one was talking about that. The one and only person that everyone was talking about should have been fired was Aaron Glenn. Him and him alone. I think this was 100% scapegoat because it screams scapegoat, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's the perfect time. Just look at all this, y'all, and just follow me here, okay? Sheila Hemp comes out last week and he says nobody's going anywhere. You know why she did that? Because the fans were making noise. That's why she did that. So now the fans are making noise. Sheila Hemp comes out. I hear you. I hear the fans. We get 200. The Dolphins had less than 400 yards passing. And the two Dolphins receivers accounted for 294 yards. They had 382. Gesicki had a few. Mozart had a few. That was it. It was Gesicki, number 14, whoever he is. It was Waddle. And Waddle scored the 2 touchdowns, and Jalen and Tyreek Hill. We already knew what was happening. Everywhere he goes, he does the same thing. How do you think Patrick Mahomes wins that game without a Tyreek Hill? He doesn't against the Buffalo Bills. So 2 receivers put up 294 yards. Amani lines on the Miami Dolphins side of the field twice. Somebody had to get fired. And that's what happened. Aubrey Pleasant was a scapegoat, period. Nobody in this chat mentioned his name one time. We've been on for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and no one has said his name one time. What do you think was going to happen? Our secondary is young and terrible going against an elite receiving core. That's ridiculous. This man is good. Well, somebody going to find out. Somebody going to find out how good he is. He got Jeff Okudah looking real good. We didn't even mention that. Jeff Okudah might start regressing now that he's gone. Because let's not forget when they got in each other's face last year before Jeff Okudah got hurt and said it was all love. He wanted him to live up to his potential. And now they fire him because they needed somebody to take the heat. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck, y'all. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't like this move, and I think this is 100% scapegoat, 100%. David says, no second half adjustment, and it's not AG's fault. I found that funny. Yeah, did anybody else see that DeAndre Swift was not himself? Dern asked me yesterday in a postgame show on Detroit Lions Syndicate, what about the second half adjustments that we didn't make yesterday? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized a huge adjustment that we should have made was take out DeAndre Swift. He was a non-factor. After he scored a touchdown, yes, he had 6 yards rushing, 20-something yards receiving. Most of that receiving came on that touchdown. That was about, I don't know, maybe 12 yards. DeAndre Swift needed to come out. He needed to come out because he did something yesterday I've never seen him do. DeAndre Swift is a small dude, but he got a big heart, and he will run into people. But yesterday, he failed. He failed. tried to put on a little move, and he didn't trip. He didn't stumble. He fell. He just dropped to the ground because he didn't want to get hit. Maybe he didn't want to get unnecessarily hit, knowing that he doesn't have the power to do more. Maybe. I'm not sure. But how about you make a second half adjustment, you pull him out. You pull him out because it's not going to get you anywhere. He's a detriment at this point. Zay says, should that 4th and 2 long bomb have been illegal contact or PI? It looked like Reynolds was pushed before he could make the play. You know, Zay, I've only seen the replays during the broadcast. Yesterday, I checked out. I made my post-game show or my post-game video. I did the post-game show, and I didn't watch a single thing. I didn't Google Detroit Lions. I didn't look at any highlights of them. I did watch the NFL highlights. I did the game later, so I would have to look again. What I think is that there were several missed calls, but we got to talk about Penei Sewell with the consecutive penalties, Taylor Deckard, who false starts all the time, and I cut him some slack yesterday because he had a child. He had a baby, a couple weeks old. I know what that's like. But Taylor Deckard has been false starting his entire career, almost every single snap. Go and watch Taylor Deckard's play. It's almost like you know what? We're not going to call. You know how the refs meet before the game? They say, okay, look for number 68. If we called false starts on him, we wouldn't have a game. So we're only going to call a few. He false starts all the time. All the time. Well, that was the most important play. We were driving down the field and about to take the lead with a little clock left. Yeah, it was. It was. I thought it was a stupid play call. And all I've heard all day, and I swear, this is my one wish that the Lions do, that they don't pick in the top 10. Just get out of the top 10 so people can shut. And I'm not talking about you, Zay, so don't take offense to this. You heard me yesterday. That was you in the Twitter spaces, right? You heard me yesterday, bro. So people can shut their mouth about Bryce Young. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of it. But that's a whole different conversation. Why did we throw a deep pass on 4th and 2? I would have just jet sweep Amon-Ra Brown or something. Be creative a little bit. Okay, Lions media, how about this one? And this is no disrespect to you or anybody in here. How about this one, right? When the Lions, okay, I watched something yesterday, and I was impressed. I felt like, y'all know I'm a huge Rocky fan. My favorite Rocky is the one everybody hates, Rocky IV. I love Rocky IV, bro. I love Rocky IV. And the Buffalo Bills are the equivalent of the Russian, right? But you know what I saw yesterday? Remember in the second round, Rocky, he in the corner, he punching. He swings out, cuts the Russian's left eye. And Duke on the sideline says, he's cut. You heard him. You see? This is when they're in the corner. He's a man. He's not a machine, because they thought this guy was a robot. They thought he was that strong, that he was artificial intelligence. The Buffalo Bills yesterday, I saw them get cut. Green Bay was gashing them on the run. Why did I bring that whole Rocky analogy in Green Bay and Buffalo? Because Buffalo was suspect in the run. We were working. The run was working. When the run is not working, that's when we stay with it. When the run is working, we get away from it. And what do? Jamal Williams will fall. Unless they blow that backfield up and they get to him behind the line, he's going to get you 2 yards. And what do? We call a play on 4th and 2 that literally goes for everything. I've never understood that. It's only smart if it works. We don't have Calvin Johnson. Did you see the ability that Tyreek Hill has? I saw Tyreek Hill jump higher than I've ever seen a man his size jump yesterday. The dude had to be 4 feet off the ground. I totally It was so many times that the pass should have been intercepted, but these two receivers got up and got that thing. Tua, I don't know. I think he's very susceptible to interceptions. He got away with a bunch in Pittsburgh, and he got away with some yesterday because his receivers are that good. But why do we go for a 4th and 2 where we going for all of it with a guy like Josh Reynolds? And I love me some Josh, but he dropped a touchdown pass. And I heard yesterday that if Jared Goff would have put the right placement on the ball, then he would have caught it. That ball hit Josh Reynolds in both his hands, not one after another. It hit both his hands at the same time. He dropped it. That wasn't the end zone. Then I heard, well, if Goff threw it a back shoulder, if he would have threw toward the edge of the end zone, all these Monday morning quarterbacks who have no idea what it's like to quarterback, and you're going to tell him to throw this route instead of this one, right? I don't understand. What I don't understand is the play call. Why do we do that? Have Jamal Williams, who is going to get you 2 yards if he doesn't get hit behind the line. And the only reason he doesn't go forward because it takes the whole team to tackle him. You ever notice in Minnesota, when we did that in Minnesota, Zadarius Smith, the whole D-line was back there. The entire defensive line was in the backfield on that same call that Jamal Williams didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That's how he goes negative. But if he get that thing with a full steam of power, he's going to get you 2 yards. I would have much rather went out like that than a busted 4th down. I just don't understand that play call. I could respect Dan Campbell more if he ran the ball and didn't get the 1st down instead of throwing it. This is what I despise. I hate this. This is what I hate. 3rd down and 2, and they do this bootleg. I saw it yesterday, where they roll out. They do a play action. They roll out. You're rolling out. That play doesn't work for us, man. And I don't understand. We got a monster in the backfield, and yet we're gonna roll out. You got a sack, a pick, a fumble, anything that can happen. So I just don't understand why they did that. Now, let me see. All right, so it says, a day after Miami coach shredded the worst defense in the league for 282 yards passing. And remember, we said that 294 of those were to 2 guys. Detroit Lions fired defensive back coach and defensive pass game coordinator Aubrey Pleasant. Pleasant declined Monday to comment. Lions coach Dan Campbell is expected to address the move at 2:15. So he's on now. And let's see. Man, I took my thing upstairs. Let's see if he's on. Because I want to hear this. I didn't know he was getting on. Detroit Lions. Let's see if he is on, because he's supposed to be on at 2:15. And I can't bring in sound from my computer with what I'm using. Oh, he's on now. All right, so let me see. I'm going to try to set this up so we can listen to it. Because, yeah, let me do this. So let's take a break real quick, and let me see if I can bring this thing up. But y'all can leave it in the comments below what you think he's going to say, because I think this is going to be interesting. Now, remember, it's going to be very tough to hear these guys because, all right, let me see. We're going to do that. I'm sorry, y'all. This was unexpected. Usually I plan my segments, but okay, let me get out of here. Come back to that. Should be there. All right, now I'm behind in this. So let's listen to, and we can either, you want to do it where we listen to it and then stop in between, or do we just Do you want to hear the whole thing and then we talk about it? All right, here we go. Let's see. I usually listen to my stuff in double speed, so hopefully.
Felt
all right
like this change.
I'm going to skip the. Here we go. All right, this is Dan Campbell at the podium.
All right, just start with the news on Aubrey. I think Aubrey's a hell of a coach. I got a ton of respect for him. You know, it was a tough decision. You know, but we're in a production-based business, and you know, after 7 weeks, it's just felt like this change needed to be made. So I wish him the best of luck, and I appreciate everything he's put into it. He put his heart and soul into everything he did.
And with impact, can a mid-season staff change head? We saw it a little bit last year, obviously, on offense. What are you hoping to do to get out of this?
All right, I just got to say this, man. This is a billion-dollar organization. Get these guys some mics. All you got to do is you can put mics several places throughout the state, the wherever they are. Or get these dudes some handheld mics. Put some guys in the aisle, and they raise their hands or something, bro. This junk is nonsense. They got to turn it. Okay, let's get through this.
Just, you know, we'll see if a different messenger, you know, Brian Duker will take over in there, and Addison Lynch will be in that room as well. Both of those guys will take on a substantial role with the defensive backs, and just, you know, see where that goes.
All right, so I gotta say this, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to interject in this thing. Right now, we're going on plus 6 minutes. But Dan Campbell, he sounds like he don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, we just he said a different messenger. So it's basically that Aubrey Pleasant wasn't doing his job well enough. He wasn't getting the message through. Okay, let me be quiet. Here we go.
The big questions coming into the season was Jeff Okudah, and you know, would he become the player that you guys hoped he would? He obviously seemed to have progressed. Does any of that work get undone with Aubrey? How much of an impact did Aubrey have, and will some of that work be effective?
I believe that I would see Jeff continuing to excel. You know, he has improved. There again, he just hadn't played football, and so you know, every game he gets more reps, and so I don't see this being a negative impact on him.
When did you guys come to the decision? Was it after yesterday's game, or was you already kind of in the works of it, or when did you guys come to this decision?
No, really, I mean, this morning, you know, thought about it a long time last night. You know, obviously didn't sleep, and thought about it some more, and then woke up this morning and just felt like this was a decision we had to make.
All right, I'm sorry, y'all. This was a spontaneous decision by Dan Campbell. This the whole. What's up, Mr. Poole? Appreciate you, bro. I gave you a shout out at the beginning, man. Appreciate you. It came through you first, and then like 5 minutes after you, I got the push notification. This sounds like a didn't I make a video? I told you this guy's a scapegoat. Wow. This is the beginning. I've been saying this, bro. The beginning of the end. You mean you thought about this for 24 hours? You thought about this for 24 hours. You went to bed. You couldn't sleep. And you woke up and you came to the decision, well, gosh, well, golly. Well, I know somebody we can fire because we can't fire Aaron Glenn. There's no way. There's no way. Well, golly. Let's fire. Who could we fire? Because the message wasn't getting across? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I tried to listen to this whole thing, but this is nonsense to me. Because Amani lined up on the Dolphin side of the field? Well, then pull him out. You are the coach. You are the head coach, Mr. Dan Campbell. Pull him out. I thought about it. I went to sleep. I woke up and I came to a decision. You are the head coach of this football team. Everything goes through you. You can usurp anyone you feel. This is nonsense, bro. This is nonsense. Let's listen. Let's finish. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be jumping in and out.
Did something happen in the game? I mean, was there you talked yesterday about not jamming, not being physical with those guys at the line of scrimmage. Did Aubrey do something to?
No. Listen, I think that it's all encompassing after 7 weeks. It just, with where we're at. There again, I just think something needed to change,
All right, Dan Campbell is lost. He is lost. Something needed to change. It's two things happening here. I'm sorry, y'all. If you want to listen to it, just go listen to the whole thing. We're going to get through this. He's lost. Something needed to change? Something needed to change? Let me see. You know what, Zay? I don't like you anymore, bro. Something needs to change. Let me see. Itty, Meeny, Miny, Mo, Catch a Tiger, Ring Around the Rosie. Well, I can't sing that one. Musical chairs. Let me see. I'm going to wake up this morning and I'm going to throw a dart at whoever we want to fire. Something needed to change. You think something needed to change? He has no answers for this. So either A, he's lying, or B, he didn't want to fire his homie. What's up, dog? Yeah, bro. You got, man, somebody, they talking about me, man. They trying to get me up out of here, bro. Dan, I need you because you my dog, right? You my homie, bruh. I told you, man. I said this. You have zero answers. He can't give any answers. I think something needed to change. I wish you had more time. That's what this was. Holy smokes. This here is a negative impact on Dan Campbell. If somebody get fired, hey, coach, why get fired, bruh? Why get fired? Man, was it something? You said after 7 weeks, something needed to change. Let me see. How about your defensive coordinator? How about that? But nope, it's almost like any one of these line coaches could have gone. Can't fire Kelvin Shepard. Rodrigo. You can't fire him, right? You can't fire the D-line coach, Aiden Hutchinson. So who is left to be fired? Aubrey Pleasant. Unreal. Let's get through it.
Do you foresee, obviously there's, the players you have, Tracy's gone, he's out for the year, but do you think that, you have the players to be successful to make a big leap, I guess, in the secondary with the change of leadership, voice, whatever?
I do. I mean, I still believe in the guys that we have. I think that, I know what we have on the back end, and I think they're good enough to help us compete and win. And we just we got to see if we can get them going even a little bit better.
Some out there may say, this is a sacrificial lamb, right? Kind of maybe takes the heat off other people.
Hey, listen, I love Dave Burkett, bro. If I met him, I would have to give him a dap, because Dave Burkett, he is the one that asked the tough questions. This is him talking now, and he's asking the question about the sacrificial lamb, a.k.a. the scapegoat. I love Dave Burkett. Carlos Menarez, I cannot stand him, bro. But Dave Burkett, he does his job. There's zero bias.
Going on, that's maybe the obvious counter to making an in-season move like that, but just have any thoughts on that when I'm thinking, I guess?
No, we're just, we can be better on defense, certainly, but we can be better in the secondary.
Could you speak about, you also made a tough decision last year with Anthony Lynn moving. How tough are these decisions to make? And I guess for the future of Aubrey Pleasant, do you see him continue to coach in this league?
Yeah, they're brutal. They're the worst. It's the worst part of this job. He's got a family, and there again, he put everything he had into this, and I still believe he's a hell of a coach. It's just, sometimes things don't work out, and absolutely I do. I see him get another opportunity, and I see him continuing to grow and climb again at some point somewhere. I do.
What sort of changes do you want to see in the secondary going forward again?
I just want us to see us all on the same page, and if we're going to get beat, it's because we're you know, maybe we're getting outrun or we're just, you know, we're not quite in phase, but at least we're kind of there. You know, we got to cut our mentals in half.
You talked about the game plan being more physical with Miami's wide receivers. Was there an opportunity to make that correction when you don't see the cornerbacks being physical in the game?
Yeah, we talked about it.
So where was the breakdown then?
Okay, y'all have to go. First of all, I made everybody a mod in here. If you don't have a mod tag, let me know. I mod y'all all up. When we do get big, y'all gonna be here from the beginning. I appreciate y'all. Dan Campbell, you have to go see this. You need to, after we're done and we get off, go watch this. Dan Campbell has shades of Matt Patricia right now. He's got Matt Patricia right now. Body language, I'm not an expert. I have no degree, no classes or anything. The dude is slunched. He's hunched over. Yeah, if you in here now, but only today. I'm not doing this after today. These guys been around since the beginning. And when we do get big, y'all going to all be with me. All right? Because I promise that's what's happening. You got to go watch this. This thing is screaming. If I could cue up the audio with the video, you could see it. It is screaming body language that he's saying nothing. Dern says, cover up for Glenn. That's what this sounds like. He's saying nothing right now. This is bad, y'all. This is bad. He's saying, he's up here because he has to be. That's it. But we're going to talk about it more tomorrow because it will be fallout from this. Believe it. One thing that I realize from being on YouTube is when somebody gets like a sacrificial firing or they separate, somebody going to have something to say. Now, if Aubrey Pleasant is doing he got two options. He going to go, you think David Blau left here? He picked Minnesota by chance? He wants to get back at us. He probably never will, but his team is 6-1. How about that? We 1-6. David, kudos to you. We cut him, we played the game, and he went to Minnesota. Watch that happen. Don't be surprised if somebody in the North scooped this dude up. You have to go see this. His body language says, I don't know what I'm doing up here. I'm only up here so I don't get fined.
If you're seeing it and then it's not happening, why was that still continuously happening?
That's why I'm standing here talking to you right now. Just in general, it's all about, man, you know, how do we relay the message a little better? That's all.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. It's so much to break down in here. This dude was He was escaped. Or, listen, it became official. That statement right there is official. That this is a scapegoat. Look, we need you to take the heat, bruh, because I'm not getting fired. Sheila came out and said it last week. I'm not going to get fired. So Brad's not getting fired. Listen, AP, we need you, bro. We suck. Our team is terrible. We got the worst ranked defense in the league. We're going to give up historically the most points ever of all time. I can't fire AG, bro. I need you right now. Take it. This dude is literally saying, wow, this might be the moment right here. This might be the moment that I start to question, that I really kind of check out. You are giving us he is sending a message to his players and to the rest of the coaching staff because I am not going anywhere. Sheila came out and said it last week. I'm not going anywhere. Ha, ha, ha. Somebody got to go, and it ain't going to be me. It ain't going to be me, y'all. So, who can we pick? Because I'm not going anywhere. Wow. Wow. This is brutal. This is brutal, y'all.
No other staff moves at this time.
No.
A little different topic, but the trade deadline is tomorrow. Mm-hmm. How active do you expect to be, hope to be by buying, selling? What do you?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that, Brad is, looking into anything and everything on both sides. That's what he does, and so, I know we got a little time here, and we'll see if something happens.
Does it make sense for the organization to be in sell mode right now, given the 1-6 record, accumulate draft picks to sort of help this rebuild go even faster, I guess?
That's really not something I feel like I need to answer. That's not really my place at this point. Mine is to make the most of what we got here, which is plenty to compete with, I believe.
As a former player, when this would happen, when trade deadline would come up, would it signal to you that the team was kind of giving up on the season when they were in sell mode?
No, I never felt that way. I never felt that way. But there again, I was just about, man, I had enough to worry about as a player. I was going to do my job and do the best I could. I didn't worry about signals. I worried about what the coach wanted.
What is your communication process with Brad right now, as far as, every coach I'm sure would love to add pieces, but how does that process work as far as reaching out or communicating, hey, we could use help here or not?
Yeah, look, we talk all the time, and he and I's relationship is good as ever. I mean, it's as good as ever. We communicate on a daily basis, multiple times a day on everything, and so, man, if he's got something, he presents it to me, and he tells me what he's thinking. He asks what I think, but there again, I would say what he does a real good job of is he looks at it through my eyes, and I look at it through his eyes, and so I would say at the end of the day, we take each other's opinion, and then whether we make a move or don't make a move, we're both lockstep with each other.
All right.
All right. I'm telling you, when we're done here, I need you to go look at this, watch it on your own. Look at his body language. Everything about this is saying, wow, I'm telling you, he looks like Matt Patricia. He's aged 5 years. He looks like Matt Patricia. This was a scapegoat move, and I was right, 100%. This is why we exist, y'all. We exist to tell you the things, whether we right or wrong, that they can't say. Unbelievable. Wow. If you listen to most of that was telling in the first half of that press conference, that this was a move to spare Aaron Glenn because our defense is terrible. 100%. He got up there so he wouldn't get fined. He was only up there because he had to be. Pleasant. Now, see what's going on here. Last year, we fired the offensive coordinator, but we didn't fire him until the season was over. And matter of fact, he never officially was fired. He never was fired. He had a 1-year deal. So we didn't fire him. He was relieved, and then we let him walk away. This regime is getting desperate, people. That's what this is. This is desperation. Now, here's something out of the box. This is something out of the box. Let's just entertain me for one moment. Zay said something earlier in the show that might be facts. If everybody just make a comment so I can make sure you have a mod tag. I think everybody's modded. I'm not doing this again. It's the only day. Because when we get deep in this chat, when we got 100 people, 250 later down the line, and I'm in the studio, y'all was here with me from the beginning, man. I appreciate that. Just entertain this for 1 second. When we get to, just entertain this. Yesterday, what's up? What's up, Vision? Dern says, hold on, as soon as that, this will be the downfall of Campbell. He will start to lose the locker room after they lose next week. That's facts. All right, everybody's modded. Everybody's modded. Zay, what did you say? You said something at the beginning about, where was it? Where was it, bro? It's when the show we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Now, entertain this for 1 second. Sheila comes out last week, and this whole episode probably going to be about this. Sheila comes out last week, and what does she say? I believe in our leadership, right? Now just entertain this. Entertain that. Now, okay, Muhammad and Missouri, y'all, I don't see y'all like often. So these are I seen Billy before, I seen them guys. So just entertain this. Yesterday, hello? Hello, Dan, this is Sheila Ham. I came out last week and I vouched for you. I said I believe in you, right? But something need to be done. Something needs to be done. So I'm going to need you. I'm not going to come out publicly and denounce you because I came out last week and supported you. But something need to be done. Somebody got to get fired. Somebody got to get fired. So if you want your job, big dog, I'm going to need you to fire somebody. I don't care if you got to throw a dart at the dartboard. Fire someone. Something. The fans are calling for blood. We're calling for blood. I should have never fired Jim Caldwell, but I did. And that's my bad. You're going to have to do something. I'm out. Click. That's what probably happened. So, Zay, you said we don't know what happened behind the scenes. It's very possible because that man today had zero to say. He had nothing to say. I'm not a fan of Mike Valenti, but dude said a couple years ago, it's slowly carrying over. You can't do what you want to do. You got to do what you have to do. He had to fire AG, and he knew it. Brad Holmes can't fire Campbell, so you point the finger at Sheila. So do you point the No. What I'm saying is Sheila came out and supported both them guys. But who she didn't support is the trickle-downs, the minions. Right? She said, I believe in our leadership. In my opinion, that's Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. They are the leaders and everybody above them, Rod Wood and those guys. So what they did is said, hey, y'all good, but I'm going to need somebody to pay the price because the fans, this is not, listen, coincidences are rare in life. It's not a coincidence that Sheila Hamp came out last week, supported these guys, and then this week somebody gets fired. After she said it ain't going to be these two. Come on, y'all. We got to think about this. Look up the word coincidence. It is not it's a rare thing. A coincidence is a rare thing. This is not it. As a matter of fact, check this out. Hey, Siri. Define the word coincidence.
Coincidence means a remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances without apparent causal connection. Do you want to hear the next one?
That's what it is. If you didn't hear it, a remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances without apparent casual connection. These have a connection. That is not a coincidence. That this man was fired a week after Sheila comes out and defends her leadership, and then they blew a lead. This is a move her mother would have made. This is a scapegoat. I believe in this. I believe this is the first domino will fall at the end of Campbell's regime. I'm telling you, y'all. I'm telling you, this is a bad look for this franchise. 100%. And I know that Mike Valenti, Woodward Sports, I know they all going to rip into this, and they should. They should. Wow. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this because to me, this is going to have Dan Campbell was asked about. All right, let me do this real quick. Okay, Dan Campbell was asked by the media today about a potential trade looming. The trade deadline is about 26 hours away. Are the Detroit Lions looking at anyone? He said, I don't know. That's up to Brad. Brad deals with that. I'm just trying to make do with what we have. Right? Now, 2 years ago, Matt Patricia traded for Everson Griffin as a Hail Mary. I met Matt Patricia. I delivered to his house by mistake. Everson Griffin was still a free agent at the time. He winds up signing with the Dallas Cowboys. 7 weeks into the season, we traded for EG. He had 3.5 sacks. And he is currently not in the league. But he was asked today, are the Detroit Lions looking to deal anyone? Now, we talked about T.J. Hockenson last week. This is coming from Pride of Detroit. 5 Detroit Lions players most likely to get dealt. Now, don't forget, the trade deadline is 26 hours away, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Number 1, we talked about this guy last week, T.J. Hockenson. We talked about his compensation. We talked about what we would need to get. I've changed my mind. We need a first-round pick. If you give me a first-round pick for T.J. Hockenson, he's out of here. What's up, Joe Lewis? If you give me a first-round pick for T.J. Hockenson, he's out of here. It got to be first-round pick for 2023. I'm going to tell you why I do this. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, you better believe the heat is on. We saw that today with the firing of Aubrey Pleasant. The heat is on. Sheila can't come out and denounce these guys because she just supported them last week. And we blew a 10-point lead going into halftime and didn't score a single point. You better believe that the heat is on. Now, I don't think TJ will get traded. He just played yesterday. Unless they get a deal out of their mind in the next 26 hours. First round pick. Compensation from Mike Payton. This is from Pride of Detroit. Hawkinson's value is around a second-round pick based on the 2020 trade of Hayden Hurst. For that impact, no, he's staying. Another Detroit Lion who could be traded, Taylor Decker. I would take this trade in a second. Taylor Decker is a liability. Go watch him. He false starts on every play. Every single play. I would do it. Estimated value, potential first round pick for nah. The bad news though is his cap hit. He's like 4th down. He's really, really high. So the likelihood of Taylor Decker getting traded is slim to none. TJ Hockenson is low to medium. Exactly, Zay. He's getting older. Billy says, I'd take a third for TJ. To me, he's a wide receiver playing at the tight end position. Another, and I say, get this person out of here. He gone. Don't let the door hit you. Amani Awarariye. You can't be sat, man, bruh. Go look at the picture. Shout out to Mr. Poole. Sent me a photo of this guy lined up on the Dolphins side of the ball, looking directly at the line of scrimmage. Why are you not backing up? He did it twice. Estimated value, late round, maybe conditional pick. Financial impact, one of the $1.5 million remaining on the final year of Awarariye's contract, just under $50,000 is guaranteed, meaning the Lions would free up about $1.45 million in cap space. Likelihood it happens low. Michael Brockers. Brockers has been benched, meaning he's just kind of taking up space on the roster. He's 31 years old. Estimated value, late round pick. Financial impact. The restructuring of Brockers' contract lowered his base salary to just $3 million this season, of which around 1.75 remains. That means for the acquiring team, they could acquire Brockers and owe him that amount. Meanwhile, the Lions would absorb $2.3 million as a cap hit while freeing up $1.75 for this season, but they would also carry a cap hit into 2023 of $4 million. Likelihood it happens, low. So out of all of those people, the only compensation worth anything is T.J. Hockenson. Now, T.J. Hockenson came out last week. Somebody said, hey, man, are you getting traded? Or he asked one of his teammates, is he getting traded? Now, for me, once I saw that he was out there yesterday, I said, nah, he's not going to get traded. But at the same time, we've seen players play one week, get traded the next. Who was the running back for the Saints that got traded to the Minnesota Vikings? No, the Denver Broncos. I'm sorry. Latavius Murray. The first player in NFL history to score 2 touchdowns in London for 2 different teams. Mr. Poole says Amani done forgot how to play. He went from 6 picks to close coverage to being burned by everyone. Amani is bad, bruh. He might be bottom 5 DB in the league. Needs to be replaced. He's a solid zone guy. Can't play man to save his life. Now, I think the most likely, honestly, I think all of them are likely, but I think TJ makes the biggest impact. No DeAndre Swift. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm done with DeAndre. I'm done, man. And listen, I know that people are like, well, why would you trade this guy? He accounts for 25% of your offense. You know why? Because he can't stay healthy. And I know running backs take a ton of abuse. But if you look at the league, a lot of running backs stay healthy. A lot of running backs do stay healthy. Yesterday, he was a liability. He scored a touchdown. Zay says, I would trade Swift for a third. See, the problem is, Glenn and Campbell, for continuing to put Amani in the game, they got rid of Pleasant. Dern, before you got here, bro, that's exactly what I said. I said it's Dan Campbell's responsibility. He has the ultimate decision maker. He is the ultimate decision maker. You make the decisions. Pull him out. Tell him what to do. You everybody's daddy on the team. Everybody is your son. You only answer to Brad, and Brad only answers to Sheila. When you watch running backs in the NFL, when you watch a A.J. Dillon, when you watch a Aaron Jones, when you watch a dog running back, they still in this thing. I mean, Mark Ingram is even balling still. Mom, yeah, he not going anywhere. That is 0%. No. He's young. Hey, Caden is young. He's not. Y'all don't have to come at him like that. You can tell by people's comments how young they are. He's a young guy. Amon-Ra and Panay are our only untouchables. I agree. Now, listen. We've been on for almost an hour. And I want to conclude with something else. First of all, I appreciate y'all. And we're having a good time. Is Grizz still talking? Did I leave? Am I gone? Yo, am I still here? Yeah, I'm still live, right? Can y'all still hear me? Did I go dark? Okay, thanks, man. Whoo, darn, come on, man. All right, so we're going to wrap up with this. Appreciate y'all. Firing Aubrey. What's up, single dads? We got 10 minutes left, man. It sends a message to the staff and players. I'm not upset about this. Sorry for Aubrey losing his job, but that's football. I can hear you. Okay, single dads, we came to that conclusion. We played the entire press conference. I jumped in several times, and I that's what we deduced out of this. But we also deduced that this is a move out of desperation. Dan Campbell literally said that we just had to, something had to change. He said something had to change. He didn't say what. He just said something. So I came to the conclusion that he just threw darts at a dartboard blindfolded. Whoever hit on was getting fired. Now, let's talk about this because this is enticing. Oh, yeah, I'm about to ruffle some feathers now. Now, remember, y'all, it's all love. I'm not coming at anybody. I'm not picking on anybody. I just use my YouTube platform to speak my mind. You can do the same thing. Do you think you now trust this regime with Bryce Young? You now trust this regime to draft Bryce Young or the successor to Jared Goff when they fired a dude because they needed to fire someone? What's up, Elevated? They fired Aubrey Pleasant because somebody had to go, and it wasn't going to be Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell. So this regime who fired a dude because they needed someone to take the heat is going to draft Bryce Young. They're going to turn this franchise around. Elevated says, but this is a scapegoat for you fickle fans. Well, I wouldn't say fickle, Elevated. We want these people to win. We want to believe in Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. I do believe that 75% of the Lions fan base is fickle. 100%. At the same time, I think we've all got a reason to kind of be. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not fickle. I'm sticking around. I refuse. Exactly, Elevated. Exactly. Had to do it for the fans. Somebody had to take the heat. And it ain't going to be me. It's not going to be me. Sheila came out and said last week, my job is safe. I'm okay. Brad's okay. So I'm sorry, AP, but you got to go, man. Somebody got to take the heat. I'm sorry, big dog. He's got a fan. You got a family. Yeah, I got one too. It had to be somebody. It ain't going to be me. So this regime, I want Mike Zimmer as new DC. Well, apparently they can't hire somebody during the season. Mike Zimmer, is he employed somewhere? It'd be nice to have him here. Get some Minnesota blood. Minnesota, maybe we can see what they're doing a little bit. So, you think, fellas, it's only going to get worse. If the Lions don't turn this ship around, it's only going to get worse. Next thing you know, just think about it. We have the worst defense in the National Football League. We're on pace to have the record-setting defense at 599 points. And we fire our defensive back coach because somebody had to take the heat. Oh, yes, Dave. There you go. And this is the regime that we going with. Steve-O, that's what he said. They're going from the number 1 draft. Well, if they do that, I'm not watching anymore. If the Lions are going, I'm not watching anymore. You say the word tank, you're getting banned right away. Test me if you want to. I'm not having it. The worst defense roster in the league trying to get blood out of a turnip. Well, they got their blood today. Yes, they got it, bruh. The sacrificial lamb, Audrey Pleasant, is packing his bags because they had to fire someone. And this is the regime that we're going to trust to draft the franchise quarterback. It's the franchise, boy. I'm shining now. You can't see me. My time is now. I'm telling you, bro. This is the beginning. Y'all been saying it. Y'all been saying it. Oh, ES, let me give you one. So all y'all going to be mods, man, when this channel come up. We all coming up. This is a very telling move. And like I said, go watch the press conference when we're done here. Go watch it. I believe something was said to Dan Campbell yesterday. Now, I could be completely wrong. Who is this dude? He on YouTube. He's a nobody. Yeah, but I can say the stuff like everybody else, what I think is about to happen. I already saw Bengals and Raiders fans wanting Audrey Pleasant. Well, there you go. There you go. He going to get picked up in a week. Week tops. Well, week tops. We fired this man because we needed to. Because it wasn't going to be Aaron Glenn, it wasn't going to be Dan Campbell, and it wasn't going to be anyone else. I'm telling you, man, go watch his body language. It screams, I'm only here so I don't get fined. It screams that a potential conversation could have been had between Sheila and him yesterday. That somebody got to go. Don't forget, we blew a lead. We were up 14. We were then up 7, and we didn't score a single point in the second half. Not a one. And the Dolphins won by 4 points. It's only going to get worse. If they don't start winning, it's going to get worse. Mark my words. It's going to get worse. But listen, I appreciate y'all. It's been a great, great segment, and I appreciate y'all. So listen, this is where we are. This is where you are. So listen, I'll tell you this. Steve-O says, I first thought there had to be an argument between Pleasant and Campbell or Glenn because of the poor defensive performance that led to Pleasant getting fired. Dern says, watch, the next will be Ben Johnson before Glenn. MC, DC been looking nervous for a while. Our only coaches I trust right now is Hank Farley and Deuce Staley. All right, so everybody that was like a first-timer in here, you keep coming back the rest of the week, okay? I might consider modding you. But this is when we get big, because we coming. We going to come. I'm telling you, I'm working on scenes and stuff like that so I can get on camera. The off season, I'm going to invest in a little basement studio, get me a little table, give me some new cameras. Okay, that's the goal. And to be just posted up on my basement, man. I don't need a big old studio right now. All right? So we going to get there. And we going to be, I'm telling you, we coming up. All right? So I appreciate y'all. Real talk. Aubrey Pleasant fired because somebody needed to pay the price. But I appreciate everybody, man. And I will see you tomorrow.